plaintiff, Laurent says when he was born, he was left with a man who claimed to be his father and his adopted mother. But that man ended up murdering his mother and going to prison. Years later, the defendant reached out to Laurent, claiming she was his sister and that a different man was his biological father. So he petitioned the court for a DNA test today to find out if he and the defendant are siblings. Defendant Chantry Johnson says she grew up knowing her father, but he didn't tell Chantry about Laurent until 2009. Chantry claims she was blown away to learn that she may have a brother, and she hopes the DNA test will prove they are biologically related.
All rise. This court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Greg Mathis presiding. You may now be seated.
All right, and you all have come today to petition the court for a DNA test because you all are anxious to know whether you're brother and sister.
Yes, sir.
Let's hear from you. Give me some background.
Good morning, Your Honor. When I was born, I was left with someone who I was told was my biological father and my adopted mother. Unfortunately, right before my third birthday, the person that I believed was my biological father murdered my adopted mother. Subsequently, I ended up moving in. Me and my siblings grew up in that household. It was a difficult life. There was a lot of drug and alcohol abuse, a lot of gang violence. Me and my family was a little dysfunctional, but they were very caring. They made sure to shield me from the gang activity and things like that, and just told me to focus on going to school, getting a job. So when I was old enough to work, I started working. I finished high school, met my beautiful wife, and we had children. And about a month after
How many children you have?
We have 2 children, 6 and 7-year-old. Okay. About a month after my first daughter was born, I get a message from Ms. Johnson on MySpace stating that she's my sister and that we share the same father. And it completely threw me for a loop. I was 23 years old at the time. I had grown up thinking that somebody else who died in prison was my father. I never got clarification from him because of the situation. I didn't speak with him. So I was a little thrown off. I tried to communicate with them a little bit, but David, our father, was really vague and it was difficult to speak with him. I needed some answers and he wasn't able to give them to me.
I mean, what was he saying?
He kept going on about how he's a great father and that he has a huge family. And for me, it didn't make any sense because he left me with a dysfunctional situation. It wasn't like I grew up in the suburbs with a nice family that was capable.
Family.
Yeah, and the fact that I had just had my daughter, I couldn't imagine leaving her with anyone, even family members overnight. Like that just didn't cross my mind. I wanted to see every part of her growing up and make sure that I was there to guide her. So for me, him telling me that he was a great father and things like that just, was pouring salt on the wound. And at the time, I couldn't really communicate with them. As I got older, unfortunately, I developed polycystic kidney disease, which is a genetic disease. I eventually had to have my kidneys removed, and I'm on dialysis currently waiting for a transplant. But that just kind of put me in a position, a different mindset. And I wanted to make sure that I get the answers that I need so that my children don't grow up in the dark. They can know exactly where they came from, the type of people that they come from.
And the health history of the family.
Exactly. Doctors always tell you.
Why don't you give me some background?
Me and Laurent both were born in 1985. From the story that I was told, my parents were together and my father stepped out and had another child. Later on, my mom cleared that story up and my mom came after Laurent's mother and my father were together. From the age of 5 to 11, my mother left my father or David, she left David, and I didn't meet him until I was 11, and he really wasn't, a predominant male role model in mine and my sister's life.
What year was that?
When I was 11? I was born in 96 because I was born in 19.
You've been lying about your age so long you don't even know yourself.
I don't have to lie.
You can't keep up with that lie.
Everyone always thinks I'm a baby. Even if I tell them I'm 31, they're like, no, you're not. Anyways, when I was 11, my mom flew us down to go visit my dad. And from 11 on, it's either I'll visit him every now and again when I was younger. And we stayed a little bit in contact through phone and this and that. what David told Laurent is true. He does have a very big family, but it doesn't mean nothing to the kids that are not in his circle.
Big family as in he has many children, or he has siblings with many children?
On my father's side of the family, he has lots of sisters, lots of nieces and nephews and stuff. So we have quite a few cousins and stuff. But I mean, once I was 20, I moved out to Sacramento, got some history with them a little bit, but you know, I didn't grow up with any of them, so it wasn't anything tight knit like how my mom raised me and my brother and sister. We are very tight knit. So in 2009, my father, at the time, I believe he was living in Alaska. He lived there most of my life, and I was living in Phoenix. He reached out to me on MySpace and had me connect with Laurent. And he always kind of connected through Laurent, or to Laurent through me. He never kind of did it himself.
All right. And the MySpace, how did you come about finding him on MySpace?
My dad or Laurent?
Laurent.
I never knew anything about Laurent until 2009. And my dad messaged me on MySpace and said, "You have a brother," which was mind-blowing because I just can't imagine, now that I'm a parent myself, not even speaking about another child for 20-something years. And he messaged me, blew my mind. And I reached out to Laurent, and I'm a big sister, so my siblings are, you know, very important to me. So I reached out to him. I didn't want to be too overbearing because, like I said, it's been 20 plus years. He didn't know anything about me, but I kind of opened the door and allowed him to walk through it if he wanted to.
And what if we discover that you all are not siblings?
Honestly, I mean, I would be disappointed if it's not the situation, but right now I just need it.
Why would you be disappointed?
Because
all you want is clarity.
Because at this point, I feel like, you know, meeting her, this is the first time we met here in Chicago. She's a really nice girl. She has great kids. I have disconnected relationships with the siblings I grew up with. And it would be nice to start fresh and not have the burdens that I grew up with a new relationship with Chantry. So I wouldn't mind meeting my other siblings. Apparently he has like 6 kids, but me and Chantry have built a relationship and I'd like to move forward with it.
Good. And you feel the same way? Good. All right. Well, you want to go and bring me the results? And you all live in separate states?
Yeah, she lives in Arizona and I live in Oregon.
Okay. So you all going to be doing a lot of internet or social media?
A lot of FaceTime.
FaceTime, there you go. Never done FaceTime until I had my grandchild. And now she's still the only one that I FaceTime. I called my wife. I said, "I'm calling you to FaceTime the baby." "Why do you want to FaceTime me?" "I've been seeing you every day for 37 years. I know well how you look. And I've only seen this baby 9 months, and I want to make sure she's seeing me regularly and I'm seeing her. Because she stays in another household. Every time I come home, you there waiting at the door." In so much trouble.
Yeah, you are.
I'll FaceTime you too, okay? All right, let's see. All right, good news is your siblings. All right. There you go. All right. There it is. A new start. Good luck to you both.
Thanks,
Have a good day.
At this point, we can move forward. We can really get to know each other a little bit better. I can meet my nephews and really build a relationship at this point.
Yeah, I feel the same way. When I looked at him, I knew right then and there that's David Johnson, right? All in the face. So he definitely was my brother the moment I seen him. So I'm excited. I got some nieces to meet. I got a sister-in-law. So.